Hello, welcome back to the YouTube channel of Bethel Evangelical Free Church Hanley. I'm Pastor Gervais Charmley, and this is another church in Cumbria. This is the church of St. Peter Mansergh, and I'm probably saying the name wrong, but I've never heard it pronounced, I've just seen it written. This church was built in its entirety, really, in 1879. It did replace an earlier church, but this is a Victorian building. It's made out of local dark stone with light limestone dressing. And as we look around, we'll see some of the features which, this is sort of early beginnings of almost the arts and crafts movement here. It's a building it stands out, but it's made of local materials, and to some extent there is an effort to make it fit into the area, rather than going for, oh, let's do the 14th century. Let's do something a bit interesting and exciting. So we'll have a look around and see what makes it interesting and perhaps a bit, at least, exciting. As usual, then, we start at the west end. Here we are under the tower, and you can see there's a transept on the north side only. The furnishings are basically all original. The building is much as it would have been when opened. There is one older memorial here. This is a memorial to Christopher Wilson, and is dated 1845. So that tells us that it's a previous building, perhaps on this side, perhaps elsewhere. This is and somewhat difficult to read plaque commemorating its building. We have here the Ascension. There appears only to be a single bell, although the tower would have room for more if they ever got some. And back here to look at the font, which is of course Victorian, but of a tub type. Moving up the nave, we have the Roll of Honour. And doesn't appear to be any indication of, oh no, there is an indication of those who were killed. So, yes, C. Wilson Border Regiment, J. Wilson Sergeant Australian Expeditionary Force, and J. Wilson of the Grenadier Guards. So those three were killed in the war. Pulpit is, of course, original. Quite nice bit of Victorian work there. You will notice there is no stained glass in the east window, which is unusual. Normally, if there's stained glass anywhere, it would be there, but not here. We have here a memorial to Edward Wilson, died 1870. And the Wilsons are the people who pay for the building, basically. Adoration of the shepherds, rather, and Simeon. No organ, although there appears to be provision for that, and instead there is a harmonium. Memorial here to the Reverend John Rowlandson, who was incumbent of this chapel for I think it's 34 years, and died at Sedbergh, 29th of April, 1864. So the chapel, of course, will be the previous building to this one. Memorials, but obviously not furnishings, have come from that, because all the furnishings here are of a piece, and they're all for this building. There's the altar, which is a real Victorian altar there. Rails are quite nice, and there's the choir stalls, and so we look west. And it's a big building in many ways. It's not actually that big, but it's designed to feel big, to have, and you can hear the echo. The acoustics are quite good. All this bare stone and vaulted ceiling. So that's the inside here at St. Peter's Mansergh. So, time to go outside, I suppose. So here we are outside at St. Peter's. You can see here this tower with its saddleback roof. Saddleback roofs are Well, one of the helpful things with them, of course, it's a pitched roof on the tower, which means that water isn't going to puddle up on a flat roof. It's going to flow down. Hopefully, well, you can see the water spouts there. The water comes gushing out when it rains, or at least originally did. I'm not sure whether it still does. As we look at the outside again, we remember this is 1879. This is a Victorian building, all of a piece, but it replaces an earlier chapel. Whether on this site or another, I don't know, but we'll see as we go around, because if there's older graves, then we know, yep, elder site. But if there aren't, then maybe the original was somewhere else, maybe further down the hill. So we'll have a look around and see what we can see. There is some shelter here. You can see these yew trees, I think yew trees planted up to give some shelter to the building, because we are in an elevated site higher up. See the wooden porch, open porch, so there is no external door, and the setting is quite wonderful to see there, the hills, and over there the mountains, up towards Sedberg and Kirkby Stephen. There don't appear to be any very old memorials here, which may very well suggest that the previous chapel was in a different location. Just up here, see over there that roof, that's the old school, now the village hall. And around the north side, this is the vestry, of course, here, and the little vestry door, which, as with so often these external vestry doors, don't get used because there's just a little bit of fiddliness. This is the transept. Back around to the tower, and you can see the buttresses, and I need to watch out for rabbit holes. The tower has access there into the basement, which I suspect is where the heating plant is, because that's normally where the heating plant is located, down there in the basement. It's just a convenient place to put it, really. So here we are. This is Mansergh, St. Peter's, and around we go to the west. And yeah, there's no very old memorials, so it does suggest to me that this is a new site, and the old one somewhere else, perhaps near the big house. And the people at the manor house said we'd rather not have one moment. Here's a piece of the old church, part of a rainwater head, dated 1726. So that will be about all that's left of the old chapel. And in fact, it says the old chapel was erected in 1830, so that's from the previous building to that, in fact. Wow. And there's the war memorial. So that is St. Peter's, Mansergh. And I quite see why it's set where it has lovely views, but I do rather suspect that the older building would have been somewhere a little bit more sheltered, but I could be wrong about that. So there we are. And so there we have it, St. Peter's, Mansergh. I hope you've enjoyed this video. It's nice to go out to somewhere like this in the depths of the countryside and find this little building here and share it with you. So thank you for watching, and may God bless you and keep you until next time.